Hey guys, how's it going? It's Zahait here, and we're back with a brand new episode of Oxygen Not Included. And guys, today's episode I've been kind of looking forward to for a while. What we're gonna do today is hook up to the volcanoes that we've got. I'm hoping we're able to do that without burning everyone to death. I'm not actually sure. Oh, this one just started. It's gonna go for a long time, which is kind of annoying, actually. I will guess what we can do. I think I know it works for the magma ones. I'm not sure if it works for these ones. You guys had told me a long time ago about plugging these up with coal. So I'm gonna attempt to do that again here. We'll see how it goes. Not sure exactly how that's gonna work. What about this one? Next dormancy, 33 cycles. And lastly, what about this one? We don't actually know because I haven't searched it yet. Okay, so these two are less critical, I think, because our dupes will be wearing suits. This one, well, actually, I think it's plugged right now, so maybe it's not so bad after all. So now, guys, I'm gonna attempt to set this stuff up using actual oxygen not included numbers and stats and data and stuff like that. And it might get a little bit complicated here, but I'm gonna at least try. If you can follow along, good. If you can't, well, I apologize, but we're gonna get super nerdy this episode, I think. So, a couple things. The first most important thing is if I do not want to actively cool these areas, then we have to figure out the maximum heat that I can put into a steam engine and have it cool itself. Now, looking here, I don't think it says. It doesn't say, but these steam engines must be below 100 degrees C to operate. No matter what, I have to keep it below 100 degrees C. Now, it does this weird thing where it takes steam in. I don't think it matters what the temperature of the steam going in is. And no matter what, it will send water out the back, right there, at 95 degrees. So no matter what happens, steam goes in, water comes out the top at 95 degrees. Now, the heat that this thing produces is based off of, let me see here if I can get some steam. The heat that it produces is based off of, and I believe the steam engine takes 2 kilograms per second of water. It doesn't say, but I think it takes 2 kilograms per second when I was looking at the wiki. It's not telling me anywhere, but that's okay. So if it takes 2 kilograms per second, and I have a specific gravity, a specific heat capacity, not specific gravity, two different things, of 4.179, then if I take that, yeah, see, this is DTU per gram per degree C. So if I take this number, 4.179, times by 2,000 grams, and then times by the difference in temperature from the maximum temperature this thing can be, which is 100 degrees, to what the water comes out at as 95 degrees. So the heat capacity times 2 kilograms times 5 degrees Celsius, which is the difference between 100 degrees where this thing overheats and 95 degrees where it puts the water out. That should give me, one moment please, I need a calculator. Okay, so that gives me a theoretical heat absorption rate of 41,790 DTU per second. Now, the other thing which is interesting is these steam engines produce heat two ways. The first way, again, it's not saying it anywhere, but I believe the number is 4,000 DTU. It's not... There it is. Heat. 4,000 DTUs. So out of that 41,000 we had just calculated, I gotta take 4,000 off the top. And then the remainder, which is about 38,000, it's actually 37,790 DTUs per second. That is the remainder of the temperature that I can put into that tub of water before it gets over 100 degrees C, which I don't want it to do. So, using that and the fact that the steam engine releases 10% of the heat that's destroyed, we can come to... How do I do this now? Let's see... 37,790 times by 10, because it's 10%, brings me up to about 380,000 DTU per second. Not quite. And if I take that number and I divide it by the 2 kilograms per second of water and this 4.179, which is the specific heat capacity, we get 45.2 degrees Celsius that I can remove, or that's the change in temperature. And if we're saying the starting point is 95 degrees plus 45.2, the maximum temperature of water that can go into this, or steam, I guess, in this case, the maximum temperature of steam that can go in here, theoretically, there's probably errors to this number, and I probably won't be able to pull this much heat out, but theoretically, the maximum temperature that I can put into a steam turbine and have it still be able to cool itself is 140.2 degrees Celsius. So, we're gonna use that number. I know it's only theoretical, but I think my factories or my cooling plants are gonna be oversized enough that we should be able to use the theoretical number. I hope. I'm hoping we can. We're gonna try. So, we know I cannot put steam that's hotter than 140 degrees, 140.2 to be precise, into a steam engine. Good. That is very important knowledge for us. And also, another important number for us is that... I lost my volcano. I was distracted. Let's see here. We got a volcano somewhere over here. Here we go. Another important number for us is that 380,000 DTU per second. It's not quite 380 DTU per second, but that is the maximum heat that we can delete from water. Not delete. That is the maximum... Yeah. That is the maximum amount of heat or energy that we can remove per second. So if we end up putting more than 380,000 DTU per second into this system, eventually it's going to heat up and it's not going to work anymore. It's not going to work. Do not work. So that 380,000 is basically the number we're going to use to determine how many steam engines we need per volcano. So I think this one is a good place to start because it's already blocked off, I believe. So if I come in here, I should be able to... we're not going to be able to mop that up. How hot is it in there? It's probably really hot. It's pretty hot. I'm not sure my dudes are going to be able to survive, but we'll see what happens. Let's deconstruct that as well. I need to get this water out of here, I think. For now. I don't want polluted water in here because it off-gases. I don't want to deal with that. So while that's happening, let's start doing some numbers here. I have 9.6 kilograms per second for 44 seconds every 739 seconds, which means I am averaging during the active period of this volcano 572-ish grams per second of gold. Now, using that number, is there a gold in here? Is there... Please be a gold in here. Gold. Let's just use this. Gold becomes solid. Ooh, this is an important number as well. We can actually boil gold? That is quite weird. Here we go. Specific heat capacity of 0.129. That is the important number. DTU again per gram per second. So now, to figure out how many steam turbines we're going to need, I have to take 9 kilograms. Wait. No. We already figured out the average. The average grams per second is 572 grams per second. So using that with this number and the fact that we are going from... What are we going from here? 2,626.9 all the way down to 125 degrees, which is the maximum, or the minimum, I guess, steam engines can get us, is a total difference of 2,502 degrees Celsius. And when you take 2,000, whatever I said, I forget the number. When you take 2,502 times by 0.129 times by the average grams per second that we're making, which we calculated already at 572, that means we are making, on average, 184,000 DTU per second. And if you guys remember, because you were listening to my lecture, I'm sorry, this is boring, 380,000 DTU we can use per steam turbine, which means that we only really need a half a turbine to keep up with the demand of this facility here. So that's not so bad. Let's get that stuff into storage. Half a turbine, which is where my assumption of we're gonna be overkilling it comes in. It's definitely gonna be too much, but we're gonna roll with it anyway. Let's see here. What can I do? Maybe I should fill this space in so that the floor is even. Ooh, next thing. Now, we have to make sure we don't overpressurize this bad boy. And you guys were telling me the maximum pressure is 150. I'm not seeing it tell me that anywhere, but I'll take your word for it. It was 150 kilograms or whatever grams. Is it grams or kilograms? I don't know. 150 grams per meter? Hopefully it's 150 grams. So basically what that means is however much water we put in here, I need to divide it by 0.15 to figure out how many tiles we need of air for this thing to breathe. And this one is kind of small. We're not producing a whole lot, so I'm not expecting we're going to need a lot of tiles, but to actually figure out how many or how much water we're going to need, there's some other tricky stuff that I think we're going to do. So we found out that gold becomes solid at 1,064 degrees. And it's coming out of the volcano at 2627 degrees. Which is a difference of 1,563 degrees. And I'm assuming that temperature change happens really quickly. So it's gonna fly out of here. It's gonna spit out all of its temperature into our pool of water. And then once it's done, it's gonna gradually change temperatures with the water, which is where the average comes from. But we have to make sure that we have enough water in this room to absorb all of the heat that is transferred to turn the entire active volcano into solid gold. So again, we've already figured out the difference in temperature is 1064. Now we have to figure out what the total amount is, which is really easy to do. It's 9.6 kilograms times 44 seconds. So then to find the total heat production, we have to take the 1.29... Oh, it's autosave. I can't scroll right now. Here we go. 1.29 times the 1,563 degree change from liquid to solid times by 9,600 grams per second times by 44 seconds. Let me get the calculator. And that works out to 85 million DTU total. 85 million. Is that right? Oh my god, that's a lot of DTUs. Okay, so we have 85 million DTUs. And we want to figure out how much water we need. So the maximum temperature we already figured out. We don't want the water in this room to get hotter than 140.2 degrees Celsius. And it's going to start at 125, which is the minimum it can go before it turns into steam and starts getting cooler. So that difference in temperature is 15.2 degrees. So if we take that 85 million DTU and we divide by 4.179, and we divide by 15.2 degrees, which is the difference in temperature, we end up with 1.3 million. Oh, 1.3 million grams of water, which is 1.3, which is 1,300 kilograms. Is that right? One of these squares holds 1,000 kilograms. Okay. Okay. Well, this is good. That actually makes a little bit of sense. So we need approximately 1.4 squares brought into this room for it to work properly. And I think somewhere there is this nifty little... I think there's a valve somewhere. That lets you pick how much liquid meter. Connects to an automation grid to automatically turn liquid flow off when a specified amount is passed through it. This is what we want. So... hang on. I'm not sure how I want to do this. I definitely want it to be clean water. So you know what? We've already got water here. I should just take a little bit of it. Where am I? Where did that thing go? Liquid valve meter thingy. And all we want to do is get 1.4 kilograms of water down into this room. Also, we want this to get filled up before we do that. And we also want this to get out of here. Okay, so again, we've got this thing starting to be made, but while that's happening, let's calculate how many tiles we're going to need. And for 1,400 kilograms, if I'm only allowed 150 kilograms per meter squared, that puts us at 9.3 tiles, so we can just use 10. Yeah? Oh, we're gonna end up with way more than 10. We're gonna end up with a lot more than 10. Is that bad? 2, 4, 6, 8. We're gonna end up with a lot more than 10. I'm not sure if that's bad. or if that's fine. I guess less pressure shouldn't really matter, but you know what we can do actually? Maybe we should use some obsidian. We can make this a little bit smaller on this side. And then 4, 8, 12, we're up to 16, which is much bigger than it has to be, but I don't think it matters. I don't know. You guys can tell me in the comments if it will make a difference. I don't think it will. I don't know. This is my first time doing this stuff, so... Oh, guys, while we're waiting for this room to finish, I also forgot to mention I did start a auto collector thing, and I took this idea off of... I can't remember their name. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar. All I'm doing is taking all my stuff and I'm dropping it through these conveyor chutes onto a temperature shift plate here, which I made out of diamond actually. And then I've got this nice metal tile down here, and then I'm just cooling it off in the back with radiant tiles. So all of my stuff in the whole world is getting put into that little square there. Except for the coal and the eggs, I guess. Coal is still coming down here, as you can see. Eggs are still coming over here to get drowned. But everything else is going into there. Hang on, we've got something to print here. What do we got? I don't want any of that stuff. Reject all. So yeah, that's super cool. I've also got this thing here pulling out food for my little dudes over here, so I don't have to do that automatically. And I'm also just kind of plumbing items like here. I've got this thing picking up plastic. Not sure why there's all this gold up here, but we've got that picking up that. These things I could actually destroy. I used to have a whole bunch of storage containers in there, but I've emptied them now, so they're all gone. These ones are still working away, trying to get rid of our stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's that. So something else I have to work on while we're doing this is I don't think this room has to be any bigger, but I am going to want, before we seal this thing up, I'm going to want an auto sweeper, probably made out of steel. I don't think it actually has to be made out of steel. Does it have to be made out of steel? Probably will have to be made out of steel. No, this room is never going to get hotter than 140 degrees. This one should work. Hang on, let's go see what the overheat temperature of a regular one is. That one's made out of lead. Do I have any that are made out of gold? Here we go, this one's made out of gold. Ah, it overheats at 125 degrees. Alright, so we're gonna have to make it out of steel or it's gonna overheat, but that's okay. One of them's not bad. We'll do that, we'll stick that in here. We can also stick one of these in here. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Maybe we'll just stick it in there like that for now. And I'm gonna need automation wire that connects to a temperature gauge. I don't know if all this is gonna work very well, but we want this to only work if the temperature, wherever that is, atmos sensor, thermosensor. Oh, I can't put that in there. I can't put that in there. Okay, we can put that in there. All right, so there's that. Let's cancel that. And we only want this thing to work if the temperature is below a certain range, which are gonna set to 125 degrees. Okay, I think that's good. This is gonna accept gold amalgam. We're gonna also need power in here. And I don't know if the lead wires will overheat. Will lead wires overheat? It doesn't say they will, but I don't really want to risk it. So maybe we'll go with iron just to get out of there. Just to make sure. And once we're out, we can go back into there. I think what I'll do is just connect it over here, actually. We can... I was gonna say cancel that, but we're gonna need that power. Okay, there we go. Oh my god. They broke this wall without fixing it first. Idiots! Okay, so this thing could technically just take all. It doesn't really matter. There's not gonna be anything in here anyway. Really? And then... the only other thing I have to do is get something in here to suck out the air. It's not gonna work. I'm not gonna have room. Okay, so you know what I think we're gonna do? I need this room to be a vacuum. I might have to extend this over to actually set up a spot to vacuum that out. Which is super crappy because I just made this. I can't put both of these things in the same spot. Let's deconstruct this stuff. It's not really required. Oh, it won't matter. Because I can't actually put anything there anyway. Because this stupid heavy watt conductive wire is in the way. But whatever, we don't need two sets of those, so what I'll do is run that over there. I guess I can cancel this for now, because they're gonna have to be able to get in there. And we'll just put this right back to the way we found it. So we're gonna put a gas pump in here. It's going to basically be abandoned. Yeah, it's basically just gonna be abandoned at some point. We don't need it. I just need it to make this room a vacuum, and then I don't even care about it anymore. So I guess what I can just destroy the cable. No. I'll put a little automation switch. And then I'll be able to turn it off. Okay, so we've got that working. We've got the temperature switch. I think all we have to do now is... how do I want to do this? This is going to be a problem. If I put the water in, this thing might break. But I guess there's only one way to find out. So let's hook this thing up. And then the water that we needed in there was 1,400 kilograms. Hey, what? Oh, we can only do 500 at a time. Okay. We can only do 500 at a time. That's fine. We can work with that. Actually, wait. Let's set that to 0. Let's wait until this is done. Okay, so now we can set this to 500. It should start putting water in there. I don't want it to boil it though. I should have put this... I should have put the insulation tile on there first. Hopefully it doesn't boil. I just realized I can't actually do that until I get this thing out of there. This whole system is gonna be messed up. I don't think I like this. I should have made a vacuum before... Erupts in 0.9 cycles. I don't know if that's enough time to suck everything out of this room or not. We'll have to see what we can do. This might not work exactly as I wanted. So, again, we want another 500, so reset. And then we only want 400 more after that. And that should be the perfect amount of water. Okay, so as soon as this volcano erupts, I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna dig out this tile. We're gonna block this in. And then we're gonna start pumping water. Hopefully, all of this works out. And then also set up this steam engine, hopefully before we need it. So let's set that up to 9 as well. I'm going to need an output. And this should be radiant lines if I'm actually being honest, because I have to make it cool itself off. But we're also kind of pumping this other stuff through, which I think is going to help in this case. So that is actually quite good. Now this thing's about to erupt, and I imagine we're not going to get all the air out of here in time. So I'm not sure exactly. It's probably going to break this. So at some point in the future, I might have to come back in here once the volcano is done erupting. What's going on here? Next dormancy, 24 cycles. It's actually not that far away. But once that's done, I'll have to go in there and maybe fix it. Conveyor rail is almost done. And then we should be able to start exporting goods. Awesome. All that's left is hooking up the power. Let's deconstruct that little nib there. And set the priority for this stuff all super high. Okay, it's working. This is about to erupt. I don't want this to be on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't think I want that hot stuff going through. Oh boy. Alright, well that was a learning experience. I think I just pumped all of that hot water or hot metal into my base. I surely did. Let's see what happens when it comes out. We should see it. It's maybe not as hot as I thought. I don't really understand what happened there. Clearly, this poor thing is gonna have to get swapped out. There's no point pumping this out right now. This thing here needs to get swapped out, so we're gonna have to do that right now. Alright, so we've put a steel one in here. The only thing I'm not happy with right now is this room is not hot enough to disable the temperature sensor. So you know what I might do actually? I'll change this. I can change this manually. So if I say only work if it's below 0 degrees, then it should just be off. This thing's not gonna kick on. It's not gonna send crap into my base. Although, I say that, I think right now I want it to. Because if it does, it's not going to heat up the water. It's not going to turn it to steam. And then I should be able to pump everything out of here. Hopefully. Hopefully. Alright, here we go. We're pumping the hot metal right in. right on into my base. How hot is this stuff? It's only... I say it's only 550 degrees. But yeah, it's only 550 degrees. Is there steam in here? Please don't be steam in here. No, it's oxygen. Okay. Good. Let's keep pumping. I need this to be a vacuum, and then we can turn that baby off. Oh, guys, I have some awful news. My gas pump broke. It overheated. The water in here got too hot. It's not the best, but we're almost at a vacuum. Oh, look how close we are. Oh, it's gonna break everything. I'm still probably gonna have to redo this. Probably, I think. But for now, let's leave it. I want to see what happens when this thing erupts. In another half a day, approximately, this will erupt. I've got this thing set to be off now. So, theoretically, all of my stuff that I've been pumping out of here that's way too hot should actually sit here and cool down till it gets down to 125 degrees. Hopefully. In theory. Now, this system up here is not really ideal. I should probably put panels, some kind of insulation around this. I think. Probably. Just to help isolate it a little bit more, but for now, I'll leave it. Man, what? Why is there so much heat here? What's going on with that? Why is that area so hot? Man, look at this cold biome. It's kind of just taking over. It's kind of just taking over. What's going on here? Why is this like that? Is it taking damage? Wait. Is it taking damage? Wait a minute. Is this stuff coming out at minus 10 degrees C? And then getting turned to water and immediately freezing and breaking my pipes? That's exactly what's happening, isn't it? But it shouldn't be. I thought I had this set up to only turn on if... Oh... I have too much water in here. Oh... Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna have to deal with that at some point. We're gonna have to heat the water up before we send it through this, because yeah, that's not good. All right, we're starting to make some steam here. Looking good. Look at that. The temperature is rapidly dropping. I probably don't need this to be 125 degrees. But we can just keep cooling it down. There's no reason not to, really. And then if I ever need more, I can just turn this thing on, right? I think that's probably pretty good. So we're making steam. Hopefully the pressure in here is low enough. Yeah, it's only at 77.8, so it's still low enough to work. I'm not seeing that crappy gas in here that I didn't want, so either it's already in here, plugged up my machine, or the game just decided to get rid of it because there wasn't really any of it in there. I'm not sure. Hopefully the latter. What in the heck? What just happened? Naphtha? Wait, what? What is naphtha? And why is this breaking? No! Did I make this out of gold after saying I had to make it out of steel? I was like, oh, I have to make this out of steel, and then I made it out of gold. So it's broken. It's broken. I mean, this whole thing is broken. What in the heck is naphtha? I can't even click on it. Naphtha is a distilled hydrocarbon mixture produced from burning plastic? Oh my god, you know what happened? My pump got destroyed and it melted into naphtha. Oh my god, okay. So we have to redo this room. This room is super broken. I have to fix it. But I think we're pretty much there. We've got it. This thing is about to go dormant in 18 cycles, so that is perfect. When it's dormant, I can come in here, I can make it a vacuum, I can do all this stuff without having to worry about that. What we're gonna have to do is pump all this crap out of here. I don't know what I'm actually gonna do with this naphtha. That's interesting. What am I gonna do with that stuff? I don't really want to dump it. Can I even dump it in here? I can't. I wonder if it will just cool back down into plastic. Can I pick it again? Sour gas, naphtha. Naphtha is still hydrocarbon from burning plastic. It doesn't really say what it... I think it's gonna just turn into a solid. At minus 51 degrees C. What? Well, that's no good. Okay, well, anyway, we know how to fix this. I gotta come in here. I gotta get this stuff out one way or the other. Gotta turn this into steel. Other than that, this room works actually perfect. It does everything that it needs to. The only thing is this area here is not quite set up perfectly, but I already had other pipes in here, so we're just gonna make use of them. There's no reason not to. And I should probably insulate this just because if I don't, the heat's gonna escape. So we'll do that, fix that up. Guys, I'm probably not going to go through the actual setup of the other volcanoes. They're gonna be exactly the same calculation that we did at the start of the video. If you want a more detailed explanation and we can go through it step by step, how I actually calculated this, let me know. I could make a little video about that. It's not super complicated once you understand kind of the basics, but getting to that point, it's a lot of wiki reading. I was reading a lot of wikis, so anyway, I think for the most part my math checks out. Guys, if you're watching this and you are listening to me and you're like, man, your math is so wrong, tell me why. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what I did wrong. I think this system is gonna work perfectly once I obviously fix the you know, plastic and steel problems that we're having here. But once that's fixed, I think it's gonna work perfectly. Perfectly. So, between now and the next episode, I'll probably set up the same thing here and here. And I will let you know I ran some numbers, and this bad boy here is going to require 2 steam turbines. That's right, 2. So we're gonna have to hook 2 up to this thing. And I believe, based on the amount of water that I'm gonna need, which I calculated it at 3.7 kilograms, we're going to need approximately 25 tiles. So we're gonna need a 5x5 room for that, at least. The steam turbines take up 4, so we might go like 4x6 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. 4x7, something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But guys, I hope you liked today's episode, our little first look at some actual math and crunching numbers in this game. I want to get more into the nerdy side of this game because, I mean, there's so much working in the background, and I don't want to just keep plunking stuff down and seeing if it works. I want to actually have a logical setup to my stuff and hopefully have it self-sustaining. So, I mean, we've got issues to resolve, stuff like this. But we're working on it. It's a work in progress, guys. I think once the volcanoes are set up and we are mass producing raw iron and gold, I think the next thing to start working on is setting up a manufacturing thing in here. And that's gonna be steel, that's gonna be plastic, that's gonna be petroleum probably. I don't know what all we need in here. Steel, oil refinery. Oh, we can make glass as well. We could have a glass thing in here. Oh, we're gonna need a kiln or a bunch of kilns. Yeah. So that's what this area is gonna be. It's gonna be our industrial area, and I think I'm gonna start working on that in the next episode if I don't hear from you guys. So other than that, guys, make sure you drop me a comment if you have any cool ideas. Let me know what you think of this. I know it's buggy, and I know there's some issues that I'm working on resolving, but let me know if you're liking at least the road I'm heading down. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think of that. And guys, other than that, as always, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and I'll see you next time.